When you hear the phrase 9 to 5 these days, you think of Dolly Parton's hit movie and hit song. Well, here's a debut song whose subtitle is 9 to 5. Main title, Morning Train. It's by a Scotswoman named Sheena Easton, and it comes in at number 34.
I wake up every morning,
Sheena Easton's first hit song. She's from Scotland, and she's at number 34 with Morning Train. 33 big hits to number 1 and counting them down.
Coast to coast.
This is Casey Kasem on American Top 40 in Hollywood, and now we're up to the first American hit by a newcomer who had the most incredible break any new singer could ever hope for. Her name is Sheena Easton. She's Scottish, and this is the story that she told us. Sheena finished college in Glasgow, where she also sang with a local band. Then she moved down to London. There she joined another band and figured she'd just have to spend the next couple of years singing in local clubs until she got good enough for a record company to offer her a contract. And that's when Lady Luck stepped in. Sheena had auditioned along with several hundred other teenagers for a BBC television special, a documentary about the first year in a professional teenage singer's recording career. Well, Sheena was the one they chose, and then almost rejected, because she was 19 years old and wouldn't be a teenager much longer. But they figured she had the best chance of actually getting a contract. The idea was to film her audition with a record company, and then, if the company signed her, to continue filming her adventures during that first year. So the BBC producers persuaded EMI Records to grant a live audition, and the film crew followed Sheena into the studio, cameras rolling. They filmed her singing 3 songs for the record executives, who then left the room for a private corporate conference and reappeared 15 minutes later to offer Sheena a contract, just like a Hollywood movie. And when that documentary was televised a year later, more than 20 million viewers in Britain and Europe watched Sheena Easton make it through that crucial audition. And what a launching it gave a career that's been rising ever since. Sheena turned 22 just last month, and this is her first hit on the American charts. It's also her first number 1. With the most popular song in the USA for the second week in a row, here's Sheena Easton, Morning Train. Sheena Easton with the number 1 song in the USA, second week in a row, Morning Train.
American Top 40.
I'm Casey Kasem. The song at number 19 this week is by a young woman who went to college in Glasgow, Scotland, studying to become a drama teacher. This was while she was singing with a band, and the singing won out. Here's Sheena Easton, You Could Have Been With Me.
You're the seventh son of the seventh son.
Sheena Easton on American Top 40. Her 4th consecutive Top 40 hit is You Could Have Been With Me at number 19.
Hits from coast to coast.
Now on American Top 40, we're up to the woman who's wild about frogs. She's the 24-year-old singer from Scotland, Sheena Easton. We spoke to Sheena recently, and she told us that she's just mad about frogs. Not just the real thing, but all kinds of froggy things. She says, quote, "My keychain says I love frogs, so what can I tell you? There's a frog on the inner sleeve of my new album, and I've got hundreds of various frogs, from some expensive antique Chinese ivory frogs, to solid silver frogs, to big stuffed frogs. I had a blow-up frog which you could make hop, and I used to make it hop across the table. That is, until my cat ate it. One of my favorite frogs is called Slimy Limey. He's a great big frog from Toys R Us. He's huge. I don't know, it's just my thing. I collect frogs." End of quote. Now, as a frog lover, Sheena Easton told us one of her greatest ambitions was to sing a duet with the most famous frog in the world. She said, "It was a big ambition of mine. I always wanted to be on The Muppet Show, but by the time I came into the business, The Muppet Show had finished." But Sheena still got her wish. On a television special for Bob Hope's birthday, she finally fulfilled that ambition. She sang a duet with that famous frog. Sheena Easton and Kermit the Frog sang Billy Joel's hit song, Just the Way You Are. And Sheena says that even today, when she thinks about her duet with Kermit, she jumps with joy. Her current hit hops a notch this week to number 10. Here's Telephone by Sheena Easton.
I've been away from you for far too long. I can't find you anywhere.
The Lady Who Loves Frogs, Sheena Easton with Telephone, moving from number 11 to number 10 in our countdown this week.
American Top 40. American Top 40.
Now we're up to the pop singer who also happens to be a qualified fencing instructor. And she wouldn't be so skilled at swordplay if it hadn't been for William Shakespeare. This petite 5'2" singer was born and raised in Scotland. She attended the Royal Scottish Academy of Music and Drama. And at the Academy, she studied drama, including the classic works of William Shakespeare. Now, many of Shakespeare's plays include sword fights. So all the drama students at the Academy, both men and women, are required to take a course in fencing. That way they know how to handle a sword safely on stage, even if they're only acting. This singer told us, quote, "After the required courses in fencing, they told me, look, you can drop this now or you can carry on taking advanced lessons, which will give you qualifications to teach fencing." I said, "Sure, I'll go for it. I'll go for this as a challenge." And that's how Sheena Easton became a qualified fencing instructor. But she's not so sure how good she'd be as a teacher. She says, "I was dreadful. I had no finesse. All of it was aggression. I could win all my matches by sheer intimidation. I looked like the Tasmanian devil in the Warner Brothers cartoons going round and round in circles." Well, Sheena Easton hasn't been going round and round in circles the past few years. She's been going up and down the chart with hit after hit. Like her latest. It's at number 15 on American Top 40, and it's Telephone. Sheena Easton, Telephone, Long Distance Love Affair. At number 11 last week, number 15 this week. As the countdown rolls on.
The hits from coast to coast. Coast to coast.
Now we're up to the latest hit by singer Sheena Easton. You know, in a recent interview with the LA Times, Sheena told writer Dennis Hunt that she loves performing, but traveling between performances is another story. Sheena said, "What I hate is waking up at 3 in the morning on a bus or a train. You wake up and it's pitch black. You're moving and you think, where am I? It's so disorienting. For a moment, it's frightening. It's the kind of thing that makes you wonder whether you're in the right business." End of quote. At number 30 this week, here's Sheena Easton, and Almost Over You.
I saw an old friend of ours.
Sheena Easton from Scotland with Almost Over You, her 8th top 40 hit here in the USA.
The hits from coast to coast.